This sculpture will be installed in Chase Center, home of the Golden State Warriors, in collaboration with Sports and the Arts. I start every sculpture with a rough graphic sketch that needs to be approved before starting the build. Once approved, I blow up my sketch full scale and begin outlining the design. This tree will be larger than the standard 4x8 sheet of plywood, so I will first need to combine two sheets by making rabbet joints. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but my preferred method is to use a router with a straight edge guide. Now that the plywood is the correct dimensions, I can outline my design. I am creating 4 different layers. Each layer will have different branches missing, creating a 3-dimensional wall relief. I made sure to cut out each layer 1/8 of an inch larger than the first, so I can then use a flush trim bit to match both layers perfectly. The key to doing this is making sure the first layer is exactly how you want it, because the finished piece will all go off that very first layer. I repeated this process 2 more times and finally got a chance to see the dimensions of this thing really come to life. I was really happy with how it turned out. Now on to the basketball leather. I am working with raw basketball leather sent over by Spalding, the official basketball of the NBA. Having worked with basketball leather in the past, I have found the best way to get the leather to adhere permanently is by scraping the backside with this rasp. This tends to rip out all the fibers that are attached loosely, while leaving the strong fibers intact. I'm using a heavy-duty construction adhesive along with hot glue to attach the leather. I've been doing this tape technique for a long time. I find it the best way to make the most accurate templates for each cut of leather. I wanted to mimic the black rubber seams in a basketball by lining every corner with black piping. This tape-off process was extremely tedious and difficult, and it took over 2 weeks to accomplish. I'm using this makeshift corner jig to spread the black adhesive evenly. Okay, so I just finished putting all the black piping on the edges of the leather, and to tell you the truth, I hate how it looks. There's no way of getting the corners flush using that adhesive because I would have to tape parts that I couldn't really reach, and then when I'd lift up the tape it would pull up the adhesive, and it just doesn't look right, it doesn't look professional, and I'm gonna scrap the entire thing. Okay, So this has been an absolute disaster. The construction adhesive is so strong, I cannot rip it off. I've tried chemicals, scraping hours and hours, using razor blades. This stuff does not come off. So I am starting from scratch. There may have been a few tears shed during this process. This is 2 months of hard, determined work, demolished in a matter of minutes. With that being said, I knew this piece was not up to my normal standards. I want the warriors to be blown away when they see this piece, so I'm gonna have to come up with a completely new concept. This time, besides doing everything by hand with the jigsaw and the router, I'm gonna be using a CNC machine. It's going to be more precise, use less material, and overall create a better finished piece. Huge thank you to Mark McCullough and his family for helping me. Mark is a programming and CNC extraordinaire, as well as his 3 boys Diego, Skylar, and Jet. This would not be possible without you guys, so thank you so much for making this possible. So the new strategy, instead of using a black trim, is I'm actually going to use walnut for all the sidewalls. By using a walnut veneer, I could then put a walnut border on top of the leather, creating a very precise border. I think it's really going to step up this sculpture and it's going to be something special. I'm headed down to my buddy Alex's shop from Under the Water Woodworks. Here, we're going to mill up the walnut veneers from solid pieces of English walnut. We ended up milling down the veneers to around a 1/16 of an inch and height specific to each branch layer since they're all different heights. Next up was the extremely detailed process of cutting each veneer to length, test fitting, and sanding down angles until they fit perfectly. This is the most detailed woodworking I have ever done. The entire veneering process took over 2 months to fully complete. While doing this kind of detailed work, it's always hard not to take shortcuts. I always have to check myself and tell myself to be patient because the end result will show any flaw from lack of concentration. Sanding every last nook and cranny may be boring at the time, but it is necessary and will pay off in the long run. I now have to tape off all of the leather in preparation for putting the finishing oil on all of the walnut. This has got to be my favorite part of the entire build. Putting the finish on this walnut transforms this piece to a whole new level. Using tape, I space out where I want all the words and phrases that will be placed on each branch. Back to Alex's shop at Under the Water Woodworks to get all the lettering CNC'ed out of the same walnut stock as the veneer. Huge thank you to Alex. This would not be possible without you. I urge you guys to go check out Alex's work at Under the Water Woodworks on Instagram as well as YouTube. He does some of the finest woodworking you will find, and all of his pieces are timeless. Now this part was nerve-wracking. These letters are only 3/4 inch tall, and I need to drill multiple holes in each letter in order to secure them with cobbler nails to attach them to each branch. By using cobblers, I can evenly space each letter in the center part of each branch. This process took over 2 weeks to secure all the letters. A custom mounting bracket was created to attach to the wall, and this was the very first mock-up install. Now for the real thing. This sculpture is located just outside the Warriors' locker room. It is right where the players stretch and warm up before entering the tunnel onto the arena. I want to thank Sports and the Arts and the Golden State Warriors for this opportunity. This has truly been a dream build for me. There were a lot of setbacks and hurdles to jump through along the way, but I couldn't be happier with the end result. If you're ever in Chase Center, be sure to check this out. And until next time, this is Blake from BM Sculptures.